Hello again, welcome to Side 2. And now we return to local news with Sonia. Come on, Sonia.
A senior councillor has insisted that no decision has been made on the possible closure of libraries. Enfield Borough Council has launched a consultation about its plans to create a comprehensive library service and flagship libraries. The authority says Edmonton Green Library could double in size and has mentioned digital hubs and improved Wi-Fi as part of plans to have community libraries supporting possible flagship libraries across the borough. But opposition councillors have raised concerns about veiled closure plans. Lee David Sanders, the Conservative group's spokesman for libraries, said, "We are in favour of the development of the library offer in Enfield and would welcome the council investing real money in making libraries a working community hub with state-of-the-art IT equipment, offering facilities to pay your council tax and access services that are currently provided in limited locations. We would not, however, support this as a veiled proposition to reduce the number of libraries in the community." Cabinet Member for Education, Children's Services and Protection, Councillor Aha Orhan, said, "Enfield's community is changing and our libraries need to change to reflect the needs of our community, including the young, elderly and those with a different range of abilities, now and in the future. We have developed an ambitious vision and a set of proposals that present an exciting future for libraries. We now want to get the views of local people to help us shape new and exciting ways to deliver our library service before any decisions are made. No decisions have been made yet on the type of library or the location of libraries. The final decision will be made in February or March next year."
Private landlords have been urged to do their bit to help the high street. Enfield Borough Council has a 98% occupancy rate of its outlets, with just 2 of its 211 shops currently without a business. But Councillor Alan Sitkin, Cabinet Member for Economic Development, said landlords should offer competitive rates to business tenants to ensure industry continues to boom. A gaping hole is set to be left in the heart of Enfield Town High Street with the announcement that Morrison's is to leave at the end of November, just 14 months after taking over from HMV. Councillor Sitkin said, "Our high occupancy rates show we are a business-friendly council, and our policies are helping to create vibrant, busy shopping areas, more jobs for local people, increasing affluence for our residents and businesses, and a thriving Enfield economy." A helpful side effect of thriving local businesses and high occupancy rates is that they help to maximise revenue for the council, which provides us with additional money we can reinvest in vital council services. "I'd like private landlords to do their bit for the economy and offer competitive rates to their business tenants so that industry continues to boom in Enfield." With the Christmas period fast approaching, many people are disgruntled at the timing of Morrison's decision to leave the High Street. Councillor Andrew Stafford, Cabinet Member for Finance and Property, said that empty shops create an eyesore and praised the council's work to turn around their own empty shops. He said, "Enfield Council's property services ensure that when one of our business premises becomes empty, that the unit is turned around and filled as quickly as possible. Empty shop units cost the council money and are an eyesore on the high street. Because the team have over a 98% let rate, this is good news for our coffers in the way of rent and business rates, and great news for the vibrancy of our neighbourhood shops."
A waste authority has launched a £500 million project to replace its ageing incinerator. The North London Waste Authority, based in Advent Way, Upper Edmonton, is set to demolish its current energy plant to make way for a new generator. The authority is aiming to recycle half its waste by 2020 and use the latest technology in its new incinerator to improve the air quality of North London. Clyde Lokes, chairman of the North London Waste Authority, said, "We want to prevent waste. We want you to recycle it. And anything you can't, we're going to turn into fuel and use it to heat and power homes. We're already doing it. And this way we can continue to do it, which is good news for jobs, investment, and sorting out North London's waste problem. We're going to set the benchmark with this project. We want the best technology available when it comes to air quality, the best design available in terms of how it looks, and best of all, in my opinion, is we are going to be able to heat people's homes for many years to come. This is planning ahead. This replacement facility will still be heating homes when young Prince George is in his 40s. The site is already earmarked by Enfield Council and the Mayor of London for ongoing waste management use and will now go to public consultation." Councillor Clyde Lokes added, "There is a very prescriptive planning process set out by the government for projects like these. We will use this process to ensure we get the best project for North London." Now, public exhibitions will take place at Lee Valley Athletic Centre in Meridian Way, Edmonton, on Friday, December the 5th, between 3 p.m. and 8 p.m., Saturday, December the 6th, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Wednesday, January the 14th, from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Green Towers Community Centre and Edmonton Green Shopping Centre will also hold exhibitions on Monday, December the 8th, from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., Thursday, January the 15th, from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and finally Saturday, January the 17th, from 11 a.m. until 5 p.m.
A campaigner who has challenged stereotypes about domestic violence delivered a key address during Enfield Council's White Ribbon Week. Laura Richards is the director of the Paladin National Stalking Advocacy Service, an organisation that has succeeded in lobbying government to make stalking a criminal offence. Its latest campaign has focused on toughening up the laws around domestic violence to criminalise so-called coercive behaviour. Speaking before her speech, Ms. Richards said, "Coercive behaviour can be defined as a range of controlling behaviours that can involve an abuser repeatedly calling or texting their victim, checking where they are, who they're with, even, in some cases, taking away someone's driving licence on the pretence that they want to help by giving them a lift everywhere. We have even heard of cases where women have been timed going to the bathroom, or where their partner insists on dressing them. They do everything they can to try and lower their victim's self-esteem." And that's where Ms. Richards hopes a change in the law can help. She explains that at the moment, many women are not reporting instances of extremely controlling behaviour because they know there is nothing police can do about it. But Miss Richards points out that if it were made into a criminal offence, there might be a way out. Although she acknowledges that securing convictions for a crime which leaves psychological rather than physical scars can be difficult, she says, "The same thing was said about stalking, and we say now, as we did then, that it is about identifying practical points that agencies can check off. Ultimately," she said, "the lobbying group wants to close down the space of stalkers, not the space of the victims." Ms Richards was speaking at the conference in the Dugdale Centre, London Road, Enfield Town, as part of White Ribbon Week, aimed at raising awareness of domestic violence.
A grandmother chose to celebrate the beginning of her 9th decade by raising more than £5,000 to help a hospital treat sickle cell anemia. Gwen Pemberton of Parkstone Avenue, Edmonton, turned 80 in July with a party at the Savoy Hotel in central London. But she requested that instead of lavish gifts, her friends and family should donate money to help towards buying a new specialised transfusion machine for North Middlesex Hospital's haematology department. Gwen lost her son Wayne to the condition in 1974 when the Enfield grammar student was just 16 years old. November the 29th will mark the 40th anniversary of his death, and she has now announced that since launching her fundraising bid on her birthday, she has raised £5,485 that she will be donating to the hospital in Stirling Way, Edmonton. She told the Advertiser, "They have this machine in central London that treats the blood, but they don't have it in North Mid, so people who suffer have to travel all the way into town for treatment. So I decided I wanted to raise money to help them get a machine for local people." One of Gwen's other sons, Robin, also suffers from the disease, and she told the Advertiser that she couldn't believe the generosity of friends and family who saw to it that money for the cause came flooding in. It was so beautiful. People gave so much. Some people gave as much as £200. It was incredible. Although it has been 40 years since her son Wayne's death, the injustice of losing her son when he was just 16 years old continues to hurt. In those days, no one knew how to treat it, added Gwen. I didn't even know about it until Wayne was diagnosed. Now the doctors and consultants know so much more. That's why I wanted to do this, so that it helps someone else's son. Anyone who still wishes to make a donation to the sickle cell charity in Wayne's memory can do so through the haematology department at North Middlesex Hospital.
Very good. A series of hygiene failings led to a restaurant manager being fined. Mukhtar Mohammed, aged 48, of Chargeable Street, was found guilty of breaches of hygiene regulations at Istanbul Restaurant in Angel Road, Edmonton. Mohammed was sentenced to 40 hours unpaid work and ordered to pay £260. The owner of the restaurant, Bashir Ahmed, aged 39, of Hertford Road, had already pleaded guilty to 4 offences on February the 20th. He was fined £1,700 and ordered to pay costs of £1,848. Enfield Borough Council's Cabinet Member for Environment and Community Safety, Councillor Chris Bond, said, "Food businesses have a moral obligation to operate in a clean and hygienic environment, and when this does not happen, as was the case with the Istanbul restaurant, we'll take action. There is absolutely no excuse for poor food hygiene practices. We'll take immediate action when we find failings in order to protect the public and improve standards in the borough's food businesses. It is ironic that a person who did not ensure the food business he was running was clean will now have to clean up other people's mess as a punishment. I sincerely hope he learns his lesson."
Councillors have become embroiled in a bitter war of words as Tory politicians slammed the Labour administration's negligible progress on house building programmes. At the meeting of the full council in the Civic Centre in Silver Street, Enfield, last Wednesday, Conservative member Terry Neville used the opposition business slot to accuse Labour of dragging their heels. He blamed the last government for the current housing crisis, saying it was uncontrolled immigration into the UK, both from within and outside the European Union, which he said Labour allowed in the early 2000s, which was responsible for overpopulation, with no increase in housing provision. Attacking the council's record on the Meridian water development in Upper Edmonton, Mr Neville attacked council chiefs for not setting up compulsory purchase orders for the land. However, council leader Doug Taylor hit back. The Conservatives didn't buy the land when they were in power in 2007 to 2008, when it would have been substantially cheaper, he said. There was no plan to improve the sewage works. It wasn't until 2014 that a plan was put in place to clean up the smell at Deepham's, a plan put in place by the Labour administration. However, Mr Neville continued to attack the council's record, saying that there had been no progress made on the small sites that had long been earmarked for housing. Defending the lack of action on sites, including the Parsonage Lane development in Enfield, Mr Taylor added, over and over again, members opposite have opposed housing plans. After the debate on the opposition business, the council moved to pass a motion to develop the Berry Street West Parks depot site into housing. All Conservative councillors abstained from the vote.
A theatre has been transformed ready for Christmas with a little help from a bank. Staff from Barclay's real estate team helped sprinkle festive spirit over Chickenshed Theatre in Cockfosters by helping to decorate it. The team helped create a winter wonderland with twinkling lights, fairy dust, sparkling baubles and a Christmas tree in a bid to wow audiences before they enter the auditorium for this year's Christmas production. Chickenshed's Susan Jamson said, "Barclay's coming to Chickenshed is totally in keeping with our ethos of theatre for everyone and being inclusive. We believe that everyone should have the opportunity to create theatre together. Their support is invaluable, so we are all winners, but Chickenshed and our audiences are the greatest winners, with the most beautiful bar area and meeting such lovely people."
I'm sorry I fell asleep then, but I'm wide awake now and I'm ready to read the next article. A scheme that forces landlords to hold licences will be subject to a full judicial review following a decision at the Court of Appeal. The High Court ruled last month that only part of landlord Konstantinos Regas's application to bring a judicial review against Enfield Borough Council's licensing scheme was to proceed. The scheme, known as additional and selective licensing, requires landlords to hold a £500 5-year licence from the local authority for each property they own. Non-registration will carry a potential £20,000 fine and a criminal record with breach of any licence conditions carrying a £5,000 fine. Mr. Regas was granted permission to proceed on the additional licensing part, which covers all shared privately rented properties in the borough, but not the selective licensing that covers single household privately rented properties. However, Lord Justice Kim Lewison has breathed new life back into Mr. Regas's case by ordering that a challenge to selective licensing is arguable and that it should be added to the existing judicial review. Mr. Regas said, "I have always said that I believe that good housing conditions are a human right. But I object to the sustained demonisation of private tenants as antisocial, and the Council's desperate cherry-picking of data to try and back up its argument. We all want good standards, but the council has not engaged with us or listened to us all these months. They should exercise their existing statutory duties to enforce against rogue landlords and antisocial behaviour. This licensing scheme is bad for landlords and bad for tenants and has made a mockery of democracy. Council cabinet members ratified its decision on the additional licensing scheme despite the court case. An Enfield Borough Council spokesman said, Enfield Council remains committed to vigorously defending any challenge to plans to introduce much-needed licensing of the private rented sector. We have been successful once in court, and our expert independent legal advice is that we will be again.
A student's Sherlock-like crime scene skills earned her a national prize. Rona Hassan, 28, from Southgate, was crowned champion for forensic science at the World Skills UK conference. Studying a forensic science diploma in forensic and crime scene investigation at City and Islington College, the 28-year-old revealed the show at the NEC Arena was an amazing experience. She said, I am so proud to have received the gold medal and for City and Islington to have given me the opportunity to take part in World Skills. It was an amazing experience, and taking part, let alone winning, has really helped me with my confidence and drive to finish my course and pursue a career in forensics. We had a really supportive team of teachers and students, and so everything we achieved this weekend was a team effort. Going up against candidates from across the UK, the student had to process a crime scene, take witness statements, and present the evidence to a court. She added, the course is fantastic. The facilities and the teachers are excellent. I would encourage other students interested in this area to make sure, whether you are doing A-level, BTEC or Access, to keep studying science subjects so that you have an opportunity to take a course like this. After completing her course, the World Skills UK star would like to teach forensic science. David Winscoe, Director for the Centre of Applied Sciences, said, we are very proud of Rona's achievement and all of the students, past students and lecturers who supported each other through the process. Studying forensics requires an extremely high level of skill, and as a college we are proud that students can develop to such a high level that they can progress to vital and rewarding careers. Charlotte Huck, 19, who is also studying forensic and crime scene investigation at the college, picked up the silver medal.
Children have raised hundreds of pounds as part of a sing-along-a-thon. Pupils at Splash Day Nursery in Enfield Island Village raised £300 for children in need on a day of silliness. The children took part in colouring competitions, cake making and sale, and a sing-along-a-thon where they sang their favourite nursery rhymes all through the day. The £300 went towards the record-breaking £32 million that has been raised by children in need so far this year.
Oh, well, here's another couple of things to do with singing, but something you can watch rather than take part in. First of all, the JL Circus Winter Cabaret. This is a medley of performers who will be showcasing their talents at this wonderful cabaret show that the whole family can enjoy. And it's being held at the Triangle Centre, St Anne's Road, Tottenham, until Thursday, December the 11th. And there are various times. So you can find out more details by phoning 020 8802 8782 or visit the website, one word, Triangle Centre at haringey.org.uk. enfield.gov.uk. And then the community singers, Let the People Sing. This Enfield choir group is warming up for a quartet of festive concerts featuring its repertoire of songs from musical favourites such as Les Mis and The Pyjama Game, to sing-along gems such as Edelweiss, Unforgettable, Consider Yourself from Oliver, as well as Nessun Dorma and Amazing Grace. Now this is being held at a variety of places, so I'll list them. There may be one right near you. Mount Carmel and St George's Church in London Road, Enfield, on Thursday, December the 4th at 7:30 p.m. St Monica's Church, Stonard Road, Palmer's Green, on Saturday, December 6th at 7:15 p.m. St Mary Magdalene Church, Windmill Hill, Enfield, on Friday, December the 12th at 7:30 p.m. and Holy Trinity Church, Winchmore Hill, Broadway, on Monday, December 15th at noon. For more details, visit the website, all one word, letthepeoplesing.co.uk.
An Albanian drug dealer who was deported on his release from prison returned to the UK to play a leading role in a cocaine conspiracy. Luis Gergi, 30, from Enfield, drove off when officers from the National Crime Agency moved in to arrest him, his brother, and their co-defendant. He drove his Audi A8 car erratically out of the White Line retail car park in Dunstable, with an officer trying to hold on to the door handle, Luton Crown Court heard last Thursday. Prosecutor Tim Probert-Wood said Gergi tried to get away but ran into a police motorcyclist. In all, 2 kilograms of cocaine was recovered, along with £42,200 at the scene. It had a high purity rate of 77%. The prosecutor said the NCA officers were watching Luis Gergi's flat at Tower Point, Enfield, at 8 a.m. on the morning of September the 24th this year. He was seen to drive his Audi to the car park of the Old Red Line in Houghton Regis, Bedfordshire, where he met his younger brother, Adriatic, 26, and a third defendant, Julian Perry. Observations continued, and at about 1 p.m. they were all seen again at the White Lion Retail Park. Luis Gergi had been jailed for 6 years at Canterbury Crown Court in March 2010 for trying to smuggle £190,000 worth of heroin through Dover. They all pleaded guilty to conspiracy to supply cocaine. They also admitted transferring £42,200 worth of criminal property. Judge Richard Foster sentenced Luis Gergi to 13 years, 6 months in prison, Adriatic Gergi to 9 years, 4 months, and Perry to 6 years, 8 months. He also recommended that the Gergis be automatically deported at the end of their sentences.
We have now reached the end of our programme for this week. Thank you for listening. So from the team of Sonia, Jenny, myself, and Ian on the controls, it's goodbye.
Goodbye.